Brentford 0, Liverpool 2. That is unbelievable for Liverpool. And Darwin Nunes has scored some of the most important goals for Liverpool this season and in their Premier League history. That takes them, I think, basically over the line of winning the Premier League. If they draw or lose to Brentford off the back of Nottingham Forest, which was a draw, of course, then I think it puts massive pressure on Arsenal. We're still talking about a title race early in the start of 2025. But Darwin Nunes has scored the type of goal that you think is going to go down famously for taking Liverpool over the edge of winning the title, in my opinion. Last minute drama. It's Fergie time. It's absolutely unbelievable what Arne Slot has given this Liverpool side. Belief, anyone coming off the bench to influence the game. Harvey Elliott was fantastic. Chiesa, who's barely featured, part of the second goal. And obviously Darwin Nunes, who gets universally slagged off. I think he gets heavily criticised a little bit more fairly by Liverpool fans for being a little bit wasteful. But ultimately, he scored a brace, one of the most important braces for Liverpool in the Premier League era, in my honest opinion. You go draw, Nottingham Forest, Brentford. It heaps massive pressure on Liverpool. And you just feel the momentum, the energy that Liverpool have. We're going to talk about their fixtures in a minute and where it leaves them in the title race. But you just feel that they've got the belief, the desire, the momentum, the rhythm. I think rhythm's a massive part of Premier League title races. About, can you go every 3-day, 4-day period and just do the same thing over and over again. And to be honest, despite the fact it was 0-0 for 91 minutes, Liverpool were absolutely fantastic. They brutalised Nottingham Forest, and Nottingham Forest held on. Obviously, it was a big substitution in that game that changed it for Liverpool. Arne Slot has got this side doing two things, basically. I think he's got the entire squad engaged. So whether you're a substitute or not, you come on and you're fluid. You instantly come in and make a difference for Liverpool. Whatever is needed from you, for however long, whatever position you're asked to play in. There's this kind of fluidity that Arne Slot has built. But going back to the rhythm, Liverpool all game had this quality in midfield. They dominated possession. It's not easy to do against Brentford. Brentford are very, very robust. They're very, very good at pressing high and winning the ball and being hard to play against, particularly at the G-Tech Stadium. And Liverpool created chance after chance after chance. You sat there in the first half. They must have had 15, 20 chances in the first half. It's about 38 chances in the entire game. That's a record for Liverpool since 2004. So you're looking at Liverpool creating record-breaking numbers for a club that's been, massively successful in the Premier League era since, of course, for decades. A top side in the Premier League for decades, of course. And Arne Slot's coming in and kind of creating these records. An unbelievable amount of chances. Both sides bombing forward. The midfield control from Ryan Gravenberch, I have to talk about him today, because I think without Ryan Gravenberch's control, I don't think there's this kind of pressure deep into the Brentford half. I think Liverpool kept the ball very, very well throughout the game, and Ryan Gravenberch has to be an unsung hero for me in this performance, because it's all well and good having attacking players and swapping Chiesa, Harvey Elliott coming in, and Darwin Nunes for Diaz, whatever. But if you don't have that control of Gravenberch, the rhythm that Arne Slot is trying to instill in this Liverpool side, then I just don't think there's any point, and it just becomes a little bit end-to-end. Last season, Liverpool don't win that game. No question about it, and it's not a criticism of Jurgen Klopp, but he didn't have that position nailed down in terms of the Jordan Henderson replacement. Endo came in, didn't quite work out in that position. And whatever you say about Arne Slot, whether he knew that Gravenberch was going to be a 6 or not, or Gravenberch has come to him in the summer and said, I can be a 6. Whoever's led that discussion of putting Ryan Gravenberch in this deeper midfield position, I mean, they have to be knighted. It's a genius move in football that you don't really see it. Modern football clubs, they go out and buy the solutions to their problems. Ryan Gravenberch, a positional change as vast as changing from a playmaker to a deep line midfielder that links up the play. He's been the best midfielder in the league by a country mile this season, alongside Alexis McAllister. Curtis Jones gets in there as well as Szoboszlai. I mean, the whole midfield is absolutely fantastic. But this Liverpool win doesn't happen without concentrated pressure from the midfield, and that has to be down to Ryan Gravenberch. Let's just talk about the goals, but make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. I'd really appreciate that. The pressure that Liverpool were putting on all the way through says a lot about their fitness, and into the 91st minute where Harvey Elliott plays a lovely little reverse ball into Trent. I mean, Harvey Elliott changed the game. We'll talk about him in a minute. But Trent whips it in. There's a rebound, and he smashed it back in instinctively. It's why Trent is so good, because a large part of his game, it's all well and good saying his distribution and the kind of the swaz that he puts on a long ball. I get that, of course, but actually a large part of his game is instinctive, reaction-based things. Everyone obviously remembers the corner against Barcelona, but he's got this element to his game where he's very, very instinctive. He reads the game incredibly well. He understands football to a higher level. And I know it's all well and good saying, look, it's just a cross across the face of the box, but the speed of his reaction to get it back across the box for Darwin Nunes, absolutely huge. But look at the ball played from Harvey Elliott. It's absolutely fantastic. Perfectly weighted for Trent. It puts him in an unbelievable position. It's not easy. Again, when you're coming off the bench and you're trying to use little delicate passes, I've seen it from Arsenal this season. I've seen it from Man City. When substitutes come in, they've not been fresh. They've not been at the same level, and it takes them 10, 15 minutes to get into the game, and they misplace passes or they have a heavy touch. Harvey Elliott came in. He's not featured much in the last few months. Let's be completely real. Barely started a game of football. And you could argue that Harvey Elliott, if he's right at where he thinks he can be in his career, which I think is borderline world class, I think he could be still young enough, more than young enough, to be an unbelievable playmaker in European football. He actually starts for Liverpool over someone like Dominic Szoboszlai for a lot of Liverpool fans, in my opinion, for myself included, potentially. I think he's got a higher ceiling than Szoboszlai. I really do, and Szoboszlai's been fantastic this season. He's got a higher ceiling than Curtis Jones. He's a more technical player, different kind of position. I don't think Harvey Elliott's a winger by any stretch of the imagination. Play him in the number 10, you can have those little reverse balls. He's got the Cole Palmers about him, Phil Foden's about him. Barely gets talked about for England. Absolutely fantastic. Then he sets up the second goal and he plays this unbelievable ball into Darwin Nunes, who finishes it off 2-0 out of nothing. It's absolutely crazy. It comes down to the maverick genius nature of Harvey Elliott. But then obviously we have to talk about Darwin Nunes, linked even this January transfer window to a move away potentially. Liverpool fans may be saying after 2 years it's a bit of a waste. It's a flop transfer. I don't think, look, if he scores these goals and maybe a couple more, maybe in the Champions League or other cup competitions, then Liverpool win the Premier League, one Premier League title for Darwin Nunes in 2 years or 3 years. That's actually not too bad. I really don't think it is, with the cup competitions that he's obviously won with Jurgen Klopp when he first came in as well. I don't think it's that bad. It's not a flop. These goals are some of the most important goals he'll ever score in his career. You can see it in the players. Footballers are smarter than us lot sat at home making YouTube videos. The instinctive response of all the Liverpool fans to celebrate. It's not just celebrating a goal, but they knew what it meant. The Brentford players were on their knees, distraught. And Liverpool players knew how big it was to put massive pressure on Arsenal and just take it to another game where Liverpool don't slip up. 4 points out of the last 6, and Darwin Nunes is a large part of that. It's a minor miracle. We don't see enough of it, of managers being able to not only change someone's position like Ryan Gravenberch, but bring in someone like Darwin Nunes, bring him into the fold, keep him on side, not make him this kind of enemy of the squad because he's not playing, because he's a big name transfer. He wants to play every single minute, and he comes on with a smile on his face. They all do. And that has to be down to Arne Slot, because it's so easy to rile up modern footballers. It's so easy to get Marcus Rashford situations. I really do think it is. And Arne Slot is just this friendly, holistic character that gets all these guys playing to a ruthless kind of rhythm. It's absolutely outstanding. Brentford had their chances. Damsgaard had a chance early in the game. And Buvey was causing havoc as well. But then, look, I mean, you can't really talk about Brentford. I mean, Nunes he could have had a hat-trick today. He hit a header that went wide. Dominic Szoboszlai hit the bar as well. So, all in all, Liverpool deserved the win. But it's just like getting to that 90th minute, 0-0. It's an amazing result. It's an amazing Premier League title-defining result. It really is for Liverpool. They got the likes of Ipswich and Bournemouth coming up. I mean, it's scary times. If you're Arsenal, I mean, Arsenal were never in it, were they? Let's be honest. Arsenal were never in it. They've got a big moment against Aston Villa. I'm recording this video as they're both playing. It could go a little bit tighter than we like to give it credit for, but this Liverpool side got the quality, the rhythm, the momentum. I just don't see that with Arsenal. Maybe one of the three things I've just said. The quality with someone like Odegaard, Rice, whatever, Saliba. But Liverpool got everything. It's outrageous, this result. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'll see you very, very soon.